All right, we are live Monday, Novak News, 8 p.m. Here we are. I'm Bidan, my colleague
Stefan.
How you been, Steph, today?
Yeah, really good, really busy. Good day.
Yeah, good
day
day on a Monday. Hey.
Yeah, definitely.
So here we will be talking about housing crisis, I think a very hot topic. And there's some new policies that's been proposed, and is it going to help? So stay tuned and we'll chat about it further.
Oh, that was interesting, exciting intro.
Very much.
But like Bidan just mentioned, look, everybody, everywhere you turn, you pick up a newspaper, you turn on the TV, you listen on the radio, right across Sydney, everybody's talking. Is firstly just the price of real estate today to purchase, you know, an apartment, a house, a townhouse, a block of land, whatever it may be. And then on the flip side, just the cost of rents as well, how much they've skyrocketed. Everybody's looking for solutions. Everyone's looking for answers. There's a bit of finger pointing going on in the governments, depending on what level. But the state government has stepped in and has put in some new planning proposals, which will be statewide. We will talk about a few tonight that are here on the Northern Beaches, and just what it might mean for your suburb, what it might mean to you as a property owner, where the upshot or how your property will be affected by these proposed changes, and yeah, what's required to meet criteria for these proposed changes. So we've put together a little slide show that we've got from
put on the little show today. Yeah,
beautiful,
something different. So.
Yeah, and we'll run through it with you guys. So the state reforms are here to create low and mid-rise housing. So basically, more dwellings across, you know, the Northern Beaches marketplace. Basically, look, this comes down to talks that started late 2023. To be honest, has probably been talked about for much longer than that. But essentially, it's Department of Planning, New South Wales Department of Planning, looking to make changes to the current planning policies that we've got across local governments, local councils here on the Northern Beaches, and sorry, all Sydney councils as well. So really, what does it mean? Background not too much important with that one, but this is the key one. So this is going to talk about what may lie in the future around your property, I guess, you know, here on the Northern Beaches. But the first one is something that really stands out to me, and that is that they are looking to introduce permitted dual occupancy development in all R2 low density zones. And an R2 low density zone in general, Bidan, is just typically your suburbs, you know, your homes, the houses, suburban living, residential family living is primarily R2. The second one will be the introduction of higher density types of developments. So terraces, townhouses, there's a slight difference, which I'll talk about. Residential buildings, so apartments, and that's kind of split into two. There's something which they deem manor houses. It's simply a larger apartment, 2-3 stories, in current R2 zonings at the moment. But there's an emphasis on something which is called town centres. And basically a town centre will be determined by the size of the supermarket that might be in your suburb. So we'll touch on that as well. Shop top housing will be something that we'll probably see along more arterial roads. I'll give you an example, Sydney Road here in Balgowlah. We've got shops downstairs, 2 levels of or usually 1 or 2 residential apartments. You could see that jump to 6 to 7 levels. R3 zoning, which is residential flats, and down the bottom, non-refusal development standards, which I'll quickly cover now. It's not too important, but basically it means there will be a set of rules, and if you match those rules, council will not be able to say no to you for it. So yeah. Let's have a look, but let's jump through them. So some examples, obviously there's a dual occupancy. It's a house cut in two titles. So it can be sold individually, can be owned individually. And again, that's something they're looking to introduce across the majority of R2 zoned residential properties. with I think 450 square meter lot size.
It's gonna be a game changer.
Yeah,
That's
it used to be 1,200 square meters. Then in some instances 1,000 square meters, 800 square meters. Now we're talking I think 450 to split that. Apartments, of course, and a few different styles in there too. But let's jump across. Let's talk about dual occupancies. Now, this document that you guys are seeing is available. We will have it available. If you do want a copy, just reach out. We'll email it across, text it across, WhatsApp it across.
Anything.
What else? Any other way we can get it to you, we'll get it to you.
Yep.
But dual occupancies essentially is taking the standard residential house. So anything with a 12-meter frontage, so a block that is 12 meters wide, will allow dwellings to be up to 9.5 meters in height. And this will be in all low density R2 zoned for blocks greater than 450 square meters. So that in itself, in my opinion, is probably the biggest change. I think that will, a dual occupancy can be a 3 or even a 4-bedroom home. So I think that's really going to help families, coming through the area. So that's one of the key ones, in my opinion, is dual occupancy in all low density R2 zoned areas with a minimum lot size of 450 square meters. So that's that one. Next one, a bit under, we've got multi-dwelling. So this is townhouses. Again, we're looking for, you'll need a block size of more than 600 square meters, 12-meter lot width. And this again will be allowed in all R2 zoned areas within 800 meters to a town centre. So again, we'll touch on town centres shortly. So the next one's terraces, and very, very similar. The width of the block from a townhouse is 12 meters. To a terrace, it jumps to 18 meters. But the difference here as well is you can build this on anything 500 square meters or larger, again, within 800 meters of town centres. We've got a little bit of a map there of the Northern Beaches. Not super clear, but again, we can email this out to you or text it out to show you. So terrace, 18 square meters width, front, 500 square meter block size. You'll be able to pop terraces in. Manor houses, essentially bigger apartments is what they are. Typically, you tend to find those. Where can I give you good examples? Ocean Street and sorry, what's the street behind Ocean Street there in Narrabeen? Lagoon Street here in Narrabeen. Those larger apartments that you tend to see there, they are deemed manor houses. Interesting name. And these can be built again in R2 zoned regions, minimum 500 square meter lot size blocks, and again within 800 square meters. 800 meters of a town centre on that too. Low rise. So what could it mean? Simply by looking at a dual occupancy, the Northern Beaches Council have said, look, if we assume that, say, half of the properties that meet that criteria take up a dual occupancy situation, that could result in additional dwellings of up to 18,500 new dwellings across the beaches. And then they've factored in at 2.6 people per property. That would be an estimate of 48,840 people just across the dual occupancy sector. Manor houses and takes that number up to potentially 50,000 new manor houses and an increase of residents up to 133,000. So it's big numbers coming through.
It's definitely going to solve the housing crisis, I think.
No, I think so. Non-refusal, really. So this will be almost like a tick sheet. If you tick the boxes, council cannot say no. They will override the LEP, the Local Environment Plan, and the DCP standards, DCP's development control, I think, plans or protocol. Hopefully I got that right. So essentially, if you tick the boxes, council will not be able to refuse you. We'll be able to refuse that DA on any other provision. If you're ticking the boxes, you're good to go, type of thing. We'll scroll through this because we can flick this through. But this is an example just to show you. So what is a town centre? A town centre is something that's going to be 800 metres walking distance to heavy rail, metro or light rail. It could be 800 metres walking distance to land zoned an E2 commercial centre or what we call a metropolitan centre. So a local economic area, shops, basically. 800 meters walking distance to E1 local centre. So a lot of what you find on the northern beaches that is commercial based is E1. And that would also have to contain a full-time supermarket, shops and restaurants. But there is a criteria on it, which I think the next slide might show us, I hope, so here's some key town centres that have been highlighted for the northern beaches. And basically they're saying that if you've got a supermarket within your suburb that is greater than 2,500 square metres, they will allow you to be designated a key town centre. So if we look at some of the suburbs that we've got, I don't know if you can see those bit on.
I can see that. I can see it.
We've got Avalon Beach. If you live on Avalon Beach, no, you don't meet the criteria. Your shopping's not big enough. Newport, no, does not meet the criteria. Monavale?
Yes, definitely yes.
Does. So Monavale will be something that will be targeted for potential redevelopment.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Warriewood, yes, the supermarket is big enough, but I don't think as a town centre it qualifies on. It could be transport, but also Warriewood is one of our newer redeveloped suburbs. Yeah, so I don't think you're going to see a huge change to what's in there already.
Too quick.
Yeah, pretty much. Narrabeen?
Yes, definitely.
Yep. COLLAROY?
No, and COLLAROY.
No. Belrose is a no. Francis
Forest is a yes.
Yep. Francis Forest is something definitely around the hospital. I think Forest Way, those few pockets is something that we'll be seeing. Forestville, indeterminate at the moment. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Got more in there.
Yep.
I think DY is probably one of the.
DY, absolutely. DY,
yes.
Brookvale as well, absolutely. Yep. That's something that's being targeted. Freshwater is a no. Manly Vale.
Oh yes, Manly Vale. That's going to be busy then.
Yeah.
Manly Vale. Seaforth is a no as well.
Yeah. Balgowlah.
Balgowlah, same still. I stay tuned on Balgowlah.
Yeah.
And yes, on Manly as well.
So Manly as well is a yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, out of the areas that we've already seen as kind of higher density areas, I think the ones that stand out to me is one, Monavale, typically a suburban residential market, could see new infrastructure, new properties coming through. That's a bit of a standout. Brookvale, I'd expect to see that. Narrabeen has already had a bit of it. DY, well and truly, is already there. But Manly Vale, I think, is a suburb as well that you'll see a bit more coming through on. So what could it mean? We'll skip through these couple pages for you guys.
Let me know when.
And here we are. We'll get here.
Yep.
So we've got a few maps here just to show you what the changes potentially could be for these town centres that we just mentioned. So if we look at Mona Vale, current number of apartments, 2,149. That could see an increase with an additional number of 3,030 dwellings, and close to 8,000 people coming into Mona Vale under these proposed schemes. So big increase. Obviously, as we talk about this, transport is something that's key to be discussed. I know that's a big concern for a lot of current Northern Beaches residents. Is transport, obviously schooling, education. Community facilities, all of these things need to be taken into account as well. But Mona Vale could see up to 8,000 new residents and 3,000 new dwellings added to it.
And more B-Line buses there.
Definitely more B-Line buses for sure. The next suburb town centre was DY. Many people think that it's already at its limit, but we don't have that much more space in DY. Currently, 9,357 apartments, a potential increase of 2,763 with that be done, and the residents, 7,300 roughly residents. Brookvale, I think is a market that is underutilised at the moment. 1,242 apartments, additional dwellings, 1,230. People might say that's not a lot for Brookvale. But we've also got to understand that Brookvale is a main economic hub for the Northern Beaches, and taking away workspaces will take away jobs, which takes away income, which could be harmful to the Northern Beaches economy. So Brookvale will see an increase, almost a double of what it's got already. but very, very cautiously because they are looking at obviously preserving the economic importance of Brookvale.
Definitely got to probably do it step by step.
Yeah, yeah. Warringah Mall, I think, tracing up to the Manly, the Brookvale Oval is kind of a big corridor that's currently being talked about.
Definitely. Right, what's next?
So Brookvale, Balgowlah to Manly, current number of apartments 13,809. Additional dwellings, that could be another 22,000.
Big number.
So a lot, yeah. They're two of the key areas that have been targeted under this new proposed policy. Additional residents, just shy of 60,000. So a lot of people, a lot of new living, a lot of opportunity throughout those Balgowlah and Manly markets is something that's really being pushed and promoted by this new planning proposal across there. So big numbers coming through, and again, the key questions will be transport, will be community facilities, obviously parking, and the day-to-day routine of life will be concerns of the local people.
With the growing population, I think that's always something that has to be considered. And of course, if they're creating all this, they have probably thought of it as well. Yeah. With more population, they'll have to.
Probably should have kept Monavale Hospital.
Yeah.
That's another subject for another day. So again, you can see the proposed affected increases just through there. But I think the key number to look at is just the increase of residents, 132,000 people across the Northern Beaches, and just making sure we've got facilities to accommodate that is a big thing. Big thing. I don't know, but we'll be coming to the end. We've got a few more, I think, pages on it. Submissions. So, look, this is a policy proposed by the state government, not the local government. Council has gone back and said, that they're not necessarily a big fan of it, but that they can look and address these needs on a council basis rather than going out to the state government to do so. I hope they can. I'd like to say they can. The track record to date, we still need to see a lot of development to accommodate, the housing crisis that we've got across New South Wales. This is not only a Northern Beaches issue and a hot topic and an area of concern for some people. Are all for it, some people are all against it. But there are submissions you can put forward. You can contact council if you've got questions about it. Dan and I didn't just make up these policies now.
Just type up quickly.
Talk to council if you've got questions or concerns about it and what they can provide for you guys as well. And kind of the next steps now of what's going on is that we're expecting to hear more probably the end of this month as to where it's tracking. But a lot of the media is already kind of talking these kind of talks for us. I think that's pretty much it. But again, the key takeaway that I see is that an R2 zoned property, a suburban home, generally nearly always sitting over 450 square meters across the Northern Beaches, could be deemed sufficient for a dual occupancy, which I think is big. Transport questions and things aside, I think that's just a big step in addressing local housing and accommodation for Northern Beaches residents.
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, but I talked too much.
No, I love listening to you. You have a fair bit of information on you, so I always love listening to and doing our little segment here every other Monday.
Yeah.
But I hope it's as informative as it to other people as well as been listening. And as Steph mentioned, if you need that document, feel free to comment down below, or if you want to give us a call, and we're happy to send that through towards you. Yeah, you can jump on our any of our socials, Insta, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. TikTok. I'm too old for TikTok. Not yet. TikTok or any of the team, reach out. We'll shoot across this kind of proposal for you guys, just so you can see exactly what's going on. Perfect. All right, signing out. We're done. Thank you. Have a good night. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Have a nice night.